I've listened to Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers since the day it came out.
And I listened to it once yesterday.
Welcome to Spin It. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spin It, the record ranking podcast for people who would rather be listening to music. I'm James. With me is Connor.
Hello. I feel healed already.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can welcome you back to Spin It, but one thing I can't welcome you back to is the year of vengeance. It's over. It's behind us, and we're moving on into year 3, into the year of healing. This is exciting. Happy, not birthday, anniversary.
Yeah, it's a birthday.
Oh.
We're in the new year. Birthdays are allowed again.
Okay, sure. Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's birthday of the podcast. We're officially 2 years old. We're in our terrible twos.
There it is.
For the year of healing.
We made it to the terrible twos. I wondered if you'd remember that, because last year you joked about being in the horrible ones.
I do remember that.
That was a rough one. But the terrible twos, that's a much more palatable expression.
Yeah.
I decided to kick off the year of healing with kind of an ironic pick on the surface, but I think it's really, really good to begin a year of healing, and that's Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. Is Phoebe Bridgers an artist you know anything about?
I know they exist.
Okay, that's good.
Now.
Okay, that's a key part of the equation. Phoebe Bridgers is one of those artists that I feel like a little bit hipster about, you know? Like, I kind of knew her before she was cool. Like, I was there before her first album dropped. And that's not like, I don't know. I don't mean that in like a looking down my nose at you way.
Yeah, you do.
I just mean I've liked Phoebe Bridgers for a long time.
Yeah, you do. You're already... Oh, wait, no, healing.
Good grief. I have really liked a lot of her music for a while, and I figured, you know, it'd be a fun way to start off the year of healing. I almost got to see her in concert. It got rained out.
Oh, sad.
I know, that was a big bummer for me. And I figured I'd compensate for that big bummer by doing an episode about her. So let's do an episode about her.
Let's.
There's some things you should know about Phoebe Bridgers, right? She was born in 1994 in Pasadena, California. We're back to California this week. Took a little time off, but, you know, headed back. When she was 13, she started learning to play the guitar and earned money as a busker in the local farmer's market. You know, busking like playing music in public, like a street performer with your guitar case open on the ground for tips. You know, you've seen buskers.
I definitely know what that is.
I know you know what a busker is, but just if you didn't. When she was 13, she started to study vocal jazz at an art-focused high school, and she got more deeply involved in the local music scene, both as a solo artist and as a part of larger group acts like Sloppy Jane, which is an excellent band name, for whom she was a bassist and a vocalist for a little while. After about a year with them, in 2015, she left the band altogether, and she applied for and got into the Berklee College of Music way over across the country in Boston. But after she got in, she decided to kind of pivot a little bit. She felt compelled to invest in her solo career rather than go to college. So after orientation, she dropped out and got to work. Back when she was in Sloppy Jane, the band was featured in an Apple commercial for the iPhone. And because of that, she earned enough money to comfortably get to work making a solo record on her own dime with that commercial money. When she finished the record, her plan was to shop it around to labels for record deals with like a finished record. That's a really unique thing. It doesn't happen much. You know, a lot of people come with demos, or maybe not even demos, just like songs written, right? But she had a full record in hand ready to go. So she got to work on what would become her debut record, 2017's Stranger in the Alps, another one that I love. And when she was making it, because she was totally flying solo, she had no oversight and a lot of support from people like her then boyfriend Ryan Adams, who's an artist and a producer, or producer Tony Berg, who agreed to help her out with her record for free. Also, side note, Tony Berg has quite a resume himself. He played on the Rocky Horror Picture Show soundtrack. He was on the Muppet Show records, some of those. And he did a lot more work as a session guitarist. And as a producer, he worked with Beck, Peter Gabriel, Amy Mann, and more. Isn't it funny? I just always love to see how everything is so connected.
It's all about who you know.
You know and what records you've done.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Phoebe also starts touring as an opening act for Julian Baker and Connor Oberst, both of whom would go on to be very significant collaborators with Phoebe on entire album projects. We'll talk more about them in a bit. Keep those names in the filing cabinet of your brain for now and for later.
Filed under F for future.
Future, great. I wasn't sure if you put them under N for names or like O and B for Oberst and Baker or something else, but
no, F for future. It's really just one big file that takes up the entire drawer because there's basically, you know how filing cabinets, there's usually like multiple drawers and then you put a bunch of files in each of the drawers?
Yes, I do know how filing cabinets are often like filing cabinets.
Sorry, I did.
You just described a filing cabinet to me.
Well, okay, this is a 3-drawer filing cabinet in my brain.
Sure.
And each drawer there's one drawer for the past, one for the present, and one for the future. And inside of each of those drawers is just 3 big manila folders that everything gets crammed into in no particular order.
Memories, current, like active knowledge, and things I might need tomorrow.
Yep.
That's efficient enough.
90% of the processing power of my brain goes to moving things from the present folder to the past folder.
Oh, I guess that's true. You do have to clear it out in real time.
Many of files get lost.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's my brain.
No. Future collaborators. Right. We're in 2017 now, though, for past. In 2017, Phoebe signs with Dead Oceans, the label that's currently the home of Conor Oberst's Bright Eyes, also Japanese Breakfast, Sloppy Jane, her former band.
Was this what I was saving it for?
No.
Oh, okay. More into the future.
Yes, further future work.
Gotcha.
Her debut record, Stranger in the Alps, came out to critical acclaim in September of 2017, and all the attention that it got opened a lot of new doors for her. After the album came out, our resident Spin It Pickle King John Mayer said the world had just witnessed the arrival of a giant.
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
Yeah. She performed on morning shows and an NPR Tiny Desk session. I love those, by the way. Side note, shout out to the NPR Tiny Desk concerts. I really enjoy those. Have you ever watched one?
No, absolutely not.
You haven't? Really?
If you said, what is NPR Tiny Desk session to me like 5 seconds ago, I would have said something you just made up.
Wow. Oh, I gotta find one for an artist we've done and we could watch it maybe. It's them. They play at a tiny desk.
Wonderful.
It actually looks like a normal sized desk, so I don't really get the concept, but it is good. Anyway, her work also started to get sync placements in TV shows like Castle, Lethal Weapon, Switched at Birth, and a few others. But the big one is it also started to turn new eyes on her for potential collaborations. People have called Phoebe a serial collaborator, and that is so accurate. You know, for a career that's maybe like a decade on, the number of songs with a featuring Phoebe Bridgers tag out there is vast. It's a lot. She's worked with Fiona Apple. She's worked with The National. She's worked with Kid Cudi. Remember him? She's on his, I think, Man on the Moon 3.
I think you mean Kid Cudi.
No, I don't, and you know that. She's also worked with Manchester Orchestra, the 1975, SZA, Lord Huron, Taylor Swift, and she's even formed 2 separate musical projects apart from her solo career. Get ready to open the filing cabinet. Ready? It's a very heavy drawer.
Yeah, it sticks.
There's a lot you got memorized for the future.
Chock full of things. Future is endless.
Right, well, moving to the present. One of Phoebe's extra musical projects is the supergroup Boy Genius, which she formed in 2018 with Julian Baker and Lucy Dacus. Their first EP came out that year.
Wait, we're leaving Conor Oberst in the future cabinet then?
For like 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. Sorry, continue.
Yes. Good thinking, though. Good memory. Boy Genius's first EP came out later that year, and after a national tour, they put out their very first record called The Record just this year in 2023. It's also on my ranking list as of last month. Very solid. Then, the other thing in your filing cabinet, the other project she's taken on, is a little duo band with Conor Oberst called Better Oblivion Community Center. Their self-titled record dropped in 2019, and they just work so well together. I love it. And you'll even hear them work together on this album.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And into the past they go.
Into the past. No. Keep Conor Oberst in your future.
Again?
And actually keep Julian Baker in your future, too. They're still coming up again.
Move them out of present back into the future?
Yeah, back to the future. Fire up the DeLorean. You'll need that information later. Somehow, in the middle of all those projects, our favorite serial collaborator got around to making her sophomore album, Punisher, my ironic blessing upon our year of healing.
Didn't ask for your blessing or your irony.
I just wanted to put an album here that would be a good start to the year of healing. I hope. I wanted to help us heal.
Only time will tell.
Only time, yeah. Punisher came out in late June 2020, just a few weeks ago. It celebrated its 3rd birthday, which seems unreal. It doesn't seem like it's been 3 years already. But she actually surprise dropped it a day early. At a time when a lot of albums were getting delayed and pushed back. She said, "I'm not delaying the record until things go back to, quote, normal, because I don't think they should. So here it is a little early." It was a nice surprise, a nice midnight Thursday surprise.
We should release this episode midnight Thursday.
Oh, maybe we should. Then people would be like, "Why did you do this?" And then we'd be like, "Oh, because here it is a little early," like the album. I like that. Maybe we'll do it. If you're listening to this episode, you already know whether that happened.
I must say, my favorite part about that is that people are going to go, weird, this is out early. I wonder why, and then listen to the episode to find out why.
Or listen to us say that on Friday and be like, "Oh, they didn't do it."
Yeah, that's the more likely answer.
Yeah. Hey, we say we come out every Friday, so
we'll release it Thursday and then take it down
and then put it back up. Yeah. Smart. That's great for our stats.
Yeah, just to lose all the views we got on Thursday.
I've always called Phoebe Bridgers kind of an emo folk sound. And while Stranger in the Alps is way more singer-songwriter, acoustic-y, actual folk, Punisher really leans more towards this ambient electronic kind of sound. It's a little more, I don't know. I don't want to say produced, but it's not an album that you can stand up on stage and play with just a guitar, right? Whereas Stranger in the Alps kind of is more. The New York Times said that while Alps is rooted in trauma, Punisher identifies tools that she used to deal with that trauma. And see, heal, you know? We're using the record of healing to kick off the year of healing. Yeah. She put Punisher together over an 18-month period in Los Angeles with the same team of producers who helped out with Stranger in the Alps, including Tony Berg. And I think that gives this album a nice through thread with Stranger in the Alps. It feels like a big sibling, and I like that. A lot of the songwriting, though, from Punisher is older. Some of it's even older than her first record. Other songs like I See You actually came about during sound checks on tours. Like, it's a good mix of old stuff and new stuff, and that's nice. She said the album was an exercise in, quote, how to reference 100 things at once that I've always loved, since her musical inspirations and her musical inclinations have always been pretty diverse. So she wanted each song to be unique and have its own angle. You know, she didn't want to do an overdone take on a subject. But sometimes she would write these filler jokey verses in the songs, right? Like we talked about how other artists would do that. I feel like we mentioned Paul McCartney putting in joke verses for Yesterday that were scrambled eggs, you know, just like nothing lyrics. Phoebe would put in a bunch of jokey lyrics into her songs with the intent to replace them, but she just loved them too much. They stuck, and she just kept them around. So you see that a few different places on this record. And surprising nobody, Punisher features a whole host of guests, including a lot of people who were just hanging out at the studio at the time, including somebody you might not know, percussionist Jim Keltner.
Let me check the future file.
Yeah.
Nope, no records found. Could mean, don't know who they are, could mean file was lost in transportation.
Or yeah, you just never put it in the future. Well, Jim Keltner worked with Bob Dylan and John Lennon, among others. It also includes contributions from Conor Oberst, her fellow Boy Genius bandmates, from Blake Mills, who's worked with Weezer, with the Dixie Chicks, Lana Del Rey, and others. It also includes Christian Hudson, lots of other people. Plenty of outside help on Punisher. The other interesting thing about it is they recorded this album pretty much sequentially, right? They put every track together one by one in order. 5 of the album's 11 songs, really of the album's 10 songs, if you exclude the intro type DVD menu opening, 5 of its songs were singles, including Garden Song, Kyoto, I See You, I Know the End, and Savior Complex. It was a pretty big hit, Punisher was, with both fans and critics. Its Metacritic rating is an astounding 90 out of 100. Rolling Stone called the album visionary, and it made dozens of 2020 year-end best lists, often occupying a slot in the top 10, top 15. You know, it was very high up on a lot of year-end best lists. And it was a solid chart performer. Punisher peaked at number 43 on the Billboard 200, number 2 on the top alternative albums chart in the United States, number 6 in the UK, 12 in Australia, 18 in Ireland, and more. and it was nominated for 3 Grammys in 2021, including Best Alternative Music Album, and Kyoto got a Best Rock Performance and Best Rock Song nomination. So that's her most recent album-length project. That's the most recent Phoebe Bridgers LP. But since Punisher, she's embarked on a really extensive tour. Like, it just ended now. She was even tapped as the opener on a couple different dates for Taylor Swift's ongoing Eras tour. She's put out a couple different EPs and singles since then, and like I said, side projects as active as ever. There's really no concrete word about her 3rd solo record yet, but honestly, it could happen anytime. Who's to say? That one's in my filing cabinet under Future. I'm ready for it. And as far as her awards and accolades go, she's got an Association of Independent Music Award for Independent Breakthrough Artist of the Year, which is a trend you'll see a lot if you look at her full list of awards. In total, between her solo work and her collaborations, she's got a total of 5 Association of Independent Music Award nominations. She's got a total of 4 Libera Awards, or Libbies, for Record of the Year with Punisher, for Best Alternative Rock Record, Best Live Stream Act, and, interestingly enough, Best Sync Usage for I Know the End in episode 6 of the show Mayor of Easttown, which I haven't seen, but apparently it's got some good sync usage. And in addition to Punisher's 3 Grammy nominations, she also has one as an artist, Best New Artist nomination in 2021, which she lost to Megan Thee Stallion, who I believe you named as your favorite featured artist on, Montero, Lil Nas X?
Sorry, not in the past folder.
Lost that one, huh?
Well, that one was lost.
Too bad. There's absolutely no way to know. No record whatsoever of how that went.
It's impossible to know.
There's no way to tell. Other nominees that year, by the way, that were in the running, also who lost to Megan Thee Stallion, include Ingrid Andress, Noah Cyrus, and Doja Cat.
Those are names.
It's a pretty stacked year for Best New Artist. And of course, it's only the beginning. Only the 2nd album of however many albums she's going to release. So keep an eye out for more awards. But that's all I've got for Phoebe Bridgers. And now I'm curious to see how the Mixtaper is going to approach the Year of Healing with the upcoming rounds of Factor Spin.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, we're just going to have to dive in head first, I think.
I was going to say dip a pinky toe in and test the temperature of the water, but if you want to dive right on in, let's get them on out here.
Sure, why not?
Hey, it's me, the Mixtaper.
Welcome, Mixtaper. Welcome to year 3. How you feeling?
Healed.
Already? Wow.
I'm just so kosher right now.
What?
Like salt.
Like salt? What are you talking about?
Kosher.
You're just repeating the word. What do you mean? You're like salt?
Like...
I can't say that I do. Are you okay? I think the Year of Healing, I think year 3 broke you a little bit.
I don't know. People refer to things that are like good as like kosher.
Yeah, like all good. Okay.
Yeah, so
I'm talking about salt.
I'm just kosher right now. Well, isn't there a type of salt called like kosher salt or something? Another thing?
Yeah.
So put the two together, you got good salt.
There's a little more nuance than that. I thought you were going to go back to copacetic. That was Connor's word a few weeks ago.
I'm not Connor, so why would I do that?
The lies have started already.
What?
I don't know. So, what are you feeling for Factor Spin this year? Are you going to tell me a lot of true facts, or are you going to tell me a lot of lies?
Doesn't matter. No matter how it goes, win or lose, I'm healed.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, let's get your healed self playing the game.
She lives in a world of pure imagination.
Okay, we've established that I've never seen this, but I think that's a reference to one of the Chocolate Factory movies, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Nailed it.
Okay, because we've talked about it before. We talked about how someone wanted to buy the cane that he used to do that fancy little walking trick.
Yes.
And that wasn't real. Totally fake.
Completely fake.
Who was that? Not Gabrielle Aplin.
Lights. It was Lights.
Lights. It was way later than I remember.
Pretty
You're
certain.
right.
Double check me.
You're 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
Owns a prop from her favorite movie, and it was the cane. That was, wow, I was like 30 episodes off.
We were like over half a year.
Time has lost all meaning in year 3.
It's all blur. Again, I think I've said this before, or maybe Connor said this before, but I'll pretend it was me. I used to watch or listen to podcasts and things, and like watch interviews of people who couldn't remember like the stuff they've been in or the stories they've told on podcasts. and always was like, how can you not remember that? And just, 2 years into a podcast, and I couldn't tell you what we did last episode. So I totally
Fair
get
enough.
it now.
Filing cabinet, it moves quick.
There's a secret fourth drawer that's just a shredder. And whenever the past gets full, they just start shoving stuff in it, and they don't bother to look at what it is. There's no quality control.
Mm-hmm. So Phoebe Bridgers also lives in a world of pure imagination.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she doesn't live in the chocolate factory. Is she a fan of the movie?
Unknown.
Unknown. Does she like candy? I don't know where this is going.
Loves chocolate.
Sure. And
Has a bit of a green thumb.
loves chocolate, has a green thumb. Oh, is this a fact about, like, growing cacao beans and making chocolate?
Close.
Oh, that's cool.
A little more novel than that.
Oh, a little more novel.
She grows flowers that smell like chocolate.
Chocolate-smelling flowers?
Yeah.
That is one I've not heard of before. What's this flower called?
The chocolate soldier.
Oh, okay. How long have these been around? Is this a recently discovered flower, or like a flower that we've known about, just no one's done anything with it?
We've known about it. There's actually a lot of chocolate-scented flowers.
Why does she do this? How many does she have?
I don't know.
Oh, I asked 2 questions and he doesn't know either of them.
Oh, well, I was answering the second. Sorry.
Oh, well, I'd still like to know the first.
The first one, again, got immediately erased. Why did she do this? Was that the first question?
Yeah, yes.
Because she likes flowers and she likes chocolate.
Okay. Does she just like a backyard garden? Is this a flower pot situation?
They're like really tall plants. So
Oh, like a legit, like a sunflower tall? Like,
yeah, it's 12-inch. It's a 12-inch tall plant.
well, that's flower potable.
Yeah, that's fair. The picture I saw when I looked it up made it look like it's something that you would normally plant in like a garden.
Oh, garden. Interesting.
But I guess if you want to get the most out of the chocolate smell, you probably would put it in like a pot in your house.
Yeah, unless the chocolate smell starts to get old.
Oh, that's true. I don't know.
Ooh, do you think bees that pollinate the flower start to smell like chocolate?
Probably not.
I bet they do.
Oh, well, okay. Only one way to find out. Let's get some bees.
And a chocolate flower. Well, getting bees doesn't help us inherently. I think this one's a spin. I don't believe it.
Is this another one of the ones you think I just learned about the chocolate soldier and wanted to talk about it? Or do you have other reasoning?
I do think the chocolate soldier, maybe you knew about it. Yeah, sure. But also, I can't help but notice that the second track on this album is Garden Song. And so maybe you thought that'd be a nice way to weave this in. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to say it's a spin.
You're right, you don't know, but your whole point is to guess. It's very unfortunate when you do already know.
It is. You're right.
This is a spin.
Oh, yeah. Points. Did I get shut out last week? I think I did. I also don't remember.
I thought you got one last week.
The Year of Healing has wiped all memories of vengeance from our minds.
As is intended.
But now we got a point. I've got the shutout broken already, and
It is how it really should be. We're in a year of healing. All 50-50s.
we should try for that this year.
All 50-50. We shouldn't have to try too hard when we're trying not to. It
Honestly.
just happens. So
With the way it's gone, so yeah.
she has a unique candle.
Is it unique in smell? Don't tell me it smells like chocolate.
Wouldn't be that unique. Chocolate candles exist.
That's true. Is it unique in shape or like composition?
Composition.
Oh dear. That's what I was afraid of. A unique shaped candle is one thing, Oh, fun, quirky. A uniquely composed candle is concerning.
Yeah.
What's it made out of?
Yes.
Oh, well, normal candles are made out of normal wax. I'm so sorry, but the first thing that came to my mind, if a candle's not made of normal wax, is earwax?
Wow, he nailed it. One guess.
Oh, that's it? Oh, she's got earwax candles?
Yeah. Not just any earwax.
No, I don't know if I want to know. Whose earwax is it?
Just her own. Calm down.
Oh.
She's not a freak.
Okay, I'm just making sure. People have had some valuable body parts. Tom York had those toenails.
Now I feel like I wish I had said it was somebody else. I tried to tell you it was Taylor Swift's.
Ew.
Got really close on that tour.
I guess so. Why did she make herself an earwax candle? Or did she make it herself, or did she deliver her earwax to someone else and they made the candle?
I guess I just assumed she had it made by somebody. but I don't want to know how to go about making my own earwax candle, but I guess I don't have an answer for that for you, to tell you the truth.
Realistically, how hard can it be?
Fair enough.
The hardest part is my next string of questions here. The hardest part is the amount of time it would take to accumulate enough earwax to make a candle. So how big is the candle?
Yeah, just a little, like one of the little baby candles.
Like a tea candle?
Maybe.
Okay. Spoken like someone who really knows what a tea candle is.
I definitely know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. A little tea-like candle.
Okay. How long did she harvest even, her earwax? I hate this. This is hilarious, but ew.
I don't know how long it took.
Really? I mean, maybe you know or can Google this. How fast does a normal human make earwax? Like, what's the rate? If I maybe wanted to make a tea candle out of my earwax, I don't. But if I did, how long would I have to salvage? How long would I have to scrimp and save?
How to make ear candle in 8 easy steps for you. 2023.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Oh gosh, I'm concerned already. Here's the image for the article.
I don't know if I need to see an image. That's not what I thought. I had a simple question.
Anyway, my understanding of our scenario, let's get back on track here, is it's just a small little candle made of her earwax in a little ornamental dish that she calls the pain of the past.
The pain of the past?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
All the negative things she's heard people say about her, is embodied in this wax, and there's like a symbolicness to it.
Strange and bizarre, and I don't like it. However...
You don't like it, but do you believe it?
I'm so sorry if this is not true, but yes, I kinda do.
Good, because I was going to be really offended if in the year of healing you accused me of making up
the earwax candle? No, I just think I have followed her on social media for a while, and I just think I could see it. It wouldn't surprise me, This isn't like a Jared Leto carrying an ear fact, right? Where it's like, oh, awful. I can't believe that. This is like, okay, maybe. Do I need to know it ever? No. But could it be true?
Do I know it now?
Do I know it now? You tell me. Do I know it now?
This is a spin.
Thank goodness, to be honest. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
Hey, why did you come up with this?
I'm working on a new project.
Wow. Let's leave that alone.
Coming to a spin and store near you.
No.
Ugh.
Oh. Well, that's a heck of a second fact.
Up next, she participated in a nutty competition.
A nutty competition. So my first inclination is to think that this is a competition about like peanuts or cashews or almonds, like a nut-themed competition, right?
Keep naming nuts.
Keep naming nuts. Almonds.
No, keep going.
Pistachios. Walnuts. Pine nuts. Are we counting acorns?
Sure.
Acorns?
No.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. Sometimes you roast them on an open fire.
Oh, chestnuts.
Chestnuts. There we go.
Sure. Okay. Those are pretty far down on my list of nuts, apparently.
Apparently.
That's because Nat King Cole only sings about them to me once a year. What kind of chestnut competition is she in?
Picking up chestnuts blindfolded.
What? The competition is to pick up chestnuts with a blindfold on?
Yeah.
Weird. What is this competition for? Is it sponsored by something?
Yeah. I don't know if it's sponsored by, but it's for something.
Which is?
The Zenny Ranch Annual Chestnut Festival.
What's the Zenny Ranch?
It's a ranch in California.
And they have a chestnut festival where people could come around and eat chestnuts and celebrate chestnuts and pick up chestnuts.
Yeah, they usually have like a potluck and like a costume contest, and
oh dear,
they sell chestnuts by the pound from the local chestnut farm.
Fascinating. I like this.
They specialize in grapes, chestnuts, Christmas trees, wreaths, and more. They sell fresh raw chestnut honey, which is apparently a thing.
I suppose. I mean, I did just talk about chocolate honey with the bees, so I believe it. I believe it. And is this chestnut pickup like a main event? Is it like I don't know, is it like a thing, the featured event of the weekend, or is it just like one activity?
It's just like one of the activity for the kids.
Was she a kid when she did this, or was she like 22?
No, she was a kid.
Okay.
So I do like the idea of her being an adult amongst a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I know. How many chestnuts did she get?
Yeah.
Did she win?
I think if she had won, she would have said she won that competition rather than just participated in. So I'm gonna go with no.
Okay. I just don't understand why it's not a better game. Like, it's like an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
But blindfolded, and the chestnuts aren't hidden like Easter eggs. They're just strewn about.
That's my understanding.
Do you find them? You just gotta find them by stepping on them?
I don't know.
And then going, oops, stepped on one time to pick it up.
I really don't know the mechanics of the game, but in my head, I imagine it's like a big, like, roped off area that's just filled with chestnuts, and you release a bunch of blindfolded children into it and let them stumble around with a little basket.
It sounds awful.
That's my headcanon, but I really don't know.
Wow. Maybe we should go do it. Maybe we can go to the Chestnut Festival.
So I looked it up, and the 39th annual Chestnut Festival is being held Saturday, October 29th. Oh, wait, no, that was in 2022. Wonder when the 2023 one is.
So the 40th one is coming up.
It's coming up. Looks like it's usually held in October.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know how you would have found this if it wasn't true. But I know that is the case for a lot of things. I think this is true. I'm going to say this one's a fact.
This is a spin.
Really? Ouch. Where'd you learn about chestnut picking up?
Made it up.
Made it up? Is the whole festival a sham?
Yeah, the festival's real. After I made up the idea of picking up chestnuts blindfolded, I Googled chestnut festivals in California because I knew that's where she grew up, and
wow,
found that one.
It's a stupid sounding game. I mean, I gotta give you credit because it sounds exactly like the kind of thing a bunch of like farm people would like host and put on. It's right up there.
Hey,
with, like,
don't stereotype.
No, but it's like right up there with the corn maze. Like, come to the 39th annual chestnut pickup. Like, I can see it. I can visualize.
That's true. We got corn mazes bobbing for apples.
Yeah, it's just like that.
We got a lot of weird food games.
Did you just invent a sport? Sport, I use the term sport loosely.
Oh, no, it's a sport. Going on ESPN 32.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious to know how hard it would be.
Yeah. All right. On to number 4. If you get this one right, 50-50 like we want, so don't mess up.
Shoot. Yeah, the pressure's still very much on me.
She was outed by Keith Urban.
Keith Urban is a name we have not really talked about on this podcast yet. One way or another.
Surprisingly.
I know. Outed how?
Her relationship with Bo Burnham.
Oh, okay. I know a little bit about that. Tell me more about, first of all, what Keith Urban has to do with any of this. How's he on the inside circle of this? How's he in the know?
Keith Urban and his wife, Nicole Kidman, who you may also know.
I do, yeah.
They went to see a Taylor Swift concert in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so this is like really recent then.
This was on May 15th.
My goodness. Okay. I saw pictures of Keith Urban at this concert.
That's good to know. But, you know, as you mentioned, she's been opening for Taylor Swift on some of her tour stops.
She has, just not my tour stop. She was there. She just got rained on and couldn't play.
Yeah. This happened to be another one where she did play and perform and whatnot. And then, you know, being celebrities themselves, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were in like the celebrity tent.
Yeah.
While Taylor Swift was performing. And because she was done performing, so was Phoebe. And so was Bo Burnham. And Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman are film a little video, a little selfie of them like dancing and enjoying back in style.
Yeah.
And in the background, you see Bo Burnham and Phoebe kiss, outing their relationship.
Wow.
Confirming
wild.
it.
Oof.
Keith Urban did not realize that, you know, that was happening in the background and posted the video, and eagle-eyed fans saw it and were like,
Keith Urban wasn't like, I gotta tell the world, let me find a way to sneak them into the background of my video. No. So people didn't know then, and it blew up.
Well, there's a lot of rumors. You know, people had seen them together.
Yeah.
Matt Healy, who we've talked about.
We sure have.
He put a photo up on like Twitter of him and Phoebe kissing with Bo Burnham like having his arm around both of them. And the internet was like, what does this mean? Why does this exist?
Weird.
It's been rumored since like 2021 when they were first spotted together. But this was the first time that there was any sort of proof of any romantic entanglements.
This sucks. This is hard because I frankly don't definitively know whether she's in a relationship with Bo Burnham. Is it still just speculation or is it like confirmed now?
I think they've since come out and been like, yeah, They like confirmed it.
Okay. What an interesting pairing of individuals. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think this could be true.
It could be, but is it?
I think I also heard that Bo Burnham was at some Taylor Swift shows, and that would make all this make sense. I'm going to lock it in for a fact. I think it maybe could be true. It's a very interesting way to have your relationship details made public. I'll be honest.
This was just my way of getting Keith Urban onto the spin cycle.
Fair enough. I don't think that's really how the spin cycle works, though, because we have to, like, feature him or talk about him on a song. Like, just saying his name doesn't quite.
Oh, as the mixtaper, I don't understand how this works. I just wanted to get in on it.
Right.
And Connor always adding people to the spin cycle. I wanted to do one.
Fair enough.
Big Keith Urban fan, the mixtaper. Add that to the canon.
So noted.
This is a true fact.
A true fact. I've done it. The Year of Healing is off to a rockin' start. 50-50. Congratulations.
Yeah, just how we wanted it.
I like this twist. The Year of Healing, neither of us are trying to win.
If either one of us accidentally messes up and makes it not 50-50, it's a problem.
Yeah. Heck, it could end the season. Any breach of the 50-50 equilibrium might bring about season 7.
Yeah, one would think that with a change in philosophy would equal a change in the season, but it doesn't.
I know.
But I did something a little interesting this week on top of the aiming for a 50-50.
Yeah, well, I see we've got spin fact. What else did you do?
Well, as the Year of Healing, I felt it would be very unhealing-like to be such a dastard and come up with a bunch of lies or sneaky true facts to give you.
Yeah, okay.
And so I took the power out of my hand and I crowdsourced all 4 of these from fans of the podcast.
You did? No way.
So all 4 of these were not of my own machinations. So when you ask me how did I come up with earwax and nut competitions, I didn't. I can't be held responsible.
Wow. That's awesome. So all you really did was find the one fact? Or did someone crowdsource that to you too?
No, somebody provided that to me too.
Wow, I'm amazed. That's so fun. What a cool round. I really like that.
It's gonna be hard to keep up. I'm gonna have to lie to you at some point, but I'm gonna do my.
Hey, I do apologize to whoever out there. I may have insulted your chestnut game, but I do think it's a really fun idea, and I want to try it.
I'll be reaching out to other members of the audience that I know exist for maybe some interesting, fun lies that you think would be fun to try to get James to believe, or true facts you know about an artist if you're a fan of them. I just think it'd be fun to get the audience a little more involved, a little more invested in the game show, while also taking culpability off of me in the Year of Healing.
Yeah, I like it. What a fun twist. But basically what that does is it pits me against everyone. Now that I'm thinking about it.
You and Connor against everyone, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, right, yes.
Listen, it's the mixtaper and the audience against you guys.
Fair.
Connor is the people's champion. I'm the audience's champion.
What are you... That doesn't...
You know it's true.
I don't know anything anymore.
But until next time, me and the audience say... Yeah!
Awesome. Welcome back, Connor. Let's talk about the album cover of Punisher. The album cover depicts Phoebe Bridgers in her signature skeleton suit, bathed in a red glow, staring up at the starry night sky in front of a craggly rock formation.
Yeah, pretty dope.
Pretty dope. It is. What's that evoke for you?
Punishment.
Yeah, sure. Well, that photo was taken at Trona Pinnacles, a San Bernardino National Natural Landmark, and you have to drive down a 5-mile dirt road to get to it. Fans actually tracked down the spot and found it, which Phoebe couldn't believe when she saw their picture pop up on Twitter. She's like, no way. The creative mind behind the shot is Olaf Grind. They initially planned to do the cover shoot in London, England, but the change to shooting in Los Angeles ended up being a spur-of-the-moment thing when he ended up in the area. He was in town and he said, you want to just try and shoot some things while I'm here? She was like, sure, let's do it. And they did it. He said, we managed to fit in a 24-hour road trip shoot where we drove out into the desert, back down to the coast, and stopped at a bunch of places in between. The red light desert scene was the one I was looking forward to the most and had the strongest vision about. He said, Phoebe always told me that she liked my creepy images the best, so the creepier or the more surreal, the better. I brought a flashlight and a red gel filter and light painted the desert over a 30-second shutter speed while she was standing completely still, waiting to be beamed up by aliens. He said, I always loved a good adventure while shooting, and driving out in the pitch black desert at 3 a.m. on dirt roads definitely added to my excitement for the shoot, which I can believe. I mean, what a journey it must have been just to get this picture.
Melancholic self-reflection on the journey to purgatory.
Is that a thing that you made up yourself, or did you lift that quote from someone?
No, I made that up myself. That's my new answer to your question. What does this evoke?
That's what it evokes. Melancholic
self-reflection.
Self-reflection on a journey to purgatory. Okay. Wow. That's a good set of words for this album, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and I think it's perfectly encapsulated by our intro track.
Yeah, the intro track, first of all, we're starting the year of healing off in a way that is probably appealing to you with an instrumental.
Yeah, an instrumental ballad.
And yeah, of sorts. The beginning track is DVD Menu, a real easy instrumental, and it's called DVD Menu because, well, it sounds like the menu on a DVD, basically.
Like, I can just imagine, like, a long, winding road with, like, barren, blackened trees, like, that are a little out of frame. Like, I'm imagining, like, she's basked in this red glow, and that red glow is, like, this giant, like, red dirt path. And just out of frame are, like, some blackened, crumbly trees, and she's walking towards the craggly mountain of sulfur or whatever, and just, like, melancholic, yeah, thinking about all the emotions these other songs are gonna bring up as she walks this road into purgatory.
Yeah, it's emotional, to say the least. It's very eerie, very creepy, and it actually goes a lot deeper than it appears. It's something you probably didn't pick up on a first listen, but the melody in the background of DVD Menu is borrowed from the melody of the record's last song, I Know the End.
I did pick that up. Don't assume what I can get off of one listen.
Well, I'm not saying you picked it up now. You probably picked it up at the end. On your first listen to DVD Menu, you had no idea about that.
Well, no.
Right.
How could I? I hadn't heard the final track. But it's not like... You implied it like off of one listen, I didn't notice that the two were the same melody.
Okay, well, they are the same melody. Yes, I didn't mean to imply that. I revoke my implications.
Good. We're supposed to be healing, not accusing. This isn't the year of accusations. That's next year.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, what?
Well, the other thing that you couldn't have picked up on, having only listened to this album, whether you finish the album or not, is that this song also samples a vocal from the track that ends her first album, Stranger in the Alps. The song is You Missed My Heart.
Think again, hot shot.
Think again? What do you mean, think again?
I listened to that song too.
Wow. What? But that's not what I said this time. I was very careful in saying one thing you couldn't have figured out if you only listened to this album, regardless of where you stopped.
No, you said one thing you couldn't figure out having listened to only this album.
To only this album. You just said it yourself. If you only listened to this album...
You implied that I'd only listened to this album, which was a wrong implication.
Well, it wasn't like a specific you, just a general one who has not listened to other Phoebe Bridgers songs may not have realized...
Watch your phraseology, is all I'm saying.
Right. My point is, DVD Menu is a really cool piece to transition us into this new era, right? To get out of Stranger of the Alps, to enter into the world of Punisher and the atmosphere, and then to tie the beginning of the album to the end. It's not bad for a track that's just a little over a minute long. It does a lot of legwork, very subtly, to the point where one may not even notice it, as long as that one is not Connor. Track number 2 is Garden Song, and this is one whose very existence made me suspicious about the chocolate flower. Like I mentioned, I just thought maybe the Mixtaper saw Garden Song and decided to run with a flowery theme, but it's a song all about planting things that you want to grow, right? Seeing the world in the way you want to see it and making the things that you want to happen.
Like you would at the beginning of your life. When you're happy and optimistic and planting things to bear fruit later on.
Oh, are you doing it again?
Am I doing what?
Well, I hear you talking about, this journey into purgatory, right? You've already laid that foundation.
Sure.
And then to talk about this like it's the beginning of a life, well, it just kind of makes me think that you're gearing up to walk us through.
I'm a man of mystery and intrigue. You don't know what I'm gearing up for.
I don't yet. One couldn't possibly know what you're gearing up for, having only heard you say the things about these two songs. But you're right. Yes, it does feel very much like beginnings and fresh starts and things. Phoebe says, it's all about your good thoughts that you have becoming real and all the crappy stuff that you think becoming real too. If you're afraid of something all the time, you're going to look for proof that it happened or that it's going to happen. And if you're a miserable person who thinks that good people die young and evil corporations rule everything, there's enough proof in the world that that's true. But if you're someone who believes that good people are doing amazing things no matter how small, and that there's beauty or whatever in the midst of darkness, you're going to see that proof too. So this song is kind of her take on confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And frankly, optimism. But like not a full color optimism, like a muted colors optimism, right?
I like the guitar on this one.
Yeah, it's a very interesting arpeggio that's going on here. And it's so produced. It's distorted a little bit and wobbly and...
Yeah, there's like some layering going on with the vocals at certain points.
Well, the vocal layering, I can tell you more about that. Those parts where her vocals are underscored by a really, really deep voice on some of those parts of the chorus, that vocal is contributed by her very own tour manager, Yaron.
You nailed exactly what I was going for.
Awesome. So yeah, it's this song about finding beauty and growing the good things you want in your life. And then we move on to track 3, Kyoto. What a blast.
I really do think it's been a while since you've tried this, but I think you're trying to bribe me to start the year feeling off on a good note.
What? Try and bribe you? Why?
You know, ballads and instrumentals and now horn sections?
Oh, big time horn sections. Kyoto.
I'm just saying, I think you're trying to bribe me.
I'm not trying to bribe you. I admitted very early on in the episode to picking this album because it's a great start to the year of healing.
Because it's a bribe?
No.
Listen, all I know is I don't forgive you yet. That's what the year is for.
Fair enough. I won't hold you to it.
We'll revisit 52 episodes from now, and we'll see if you've earned it.
If I did it? Okay. Well, Kyoto is, one of my biggest favorites, and that's such an easy pick. That's such like a vanilla favorite Phoebe Bridgers song.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It's actually proven to be the biggest hit from the album so far. As the title implies, and as you figure out pretty quickly in the lyrics, she wrote it about her own experience touring in Japan. And it also touches on these themes, right, of imposter syndrome, feeling like you can't live up to people's expectations for you or of you.
It's also got a lot of stuff to do with her father.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. The first verse, right, talks all about Kyoto and Japan. The second verse talks about Sunset Boulevard and Los Angeles and stuff. So there's that interesting intersection where those two meet. She said this song is about being on tour and hating tour, and then being home and hating home. I just always want to be where I'm not, which I think is pretty not special of a thought, but it's true. Which verse did you like better? The Japan verse or the California verse?
I think I'm going to have to go with verse 2. I think that's only by virtue that it's deeper into the song, so we're able to do some more interesting things.
That's true.
We're not introducing a new song.
You're right. Although this song does start off with a kick right out of the gate.
It does.
But it does build a little more. When she initially wrote the song, she envisioned it as more of a typical slow ballad, which is, I tell you what, that's the crux of her first album, which it sounds like you ventured into a little bit, so you'd know that.
No.
One might know that.
Didn't venture into the album. I listened to just that single song.
Oh.
Because it auto-played at the end of the album.
Well, perfect. Either way, a listen's a listen. You delved.
I put a pinky toe in.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she said she was, quote, sick of recording slow songs. And, as you could already probably tell, it's the bulk of her catalog.
How dare she?
How dare she? Well, what she did with it is she picked up the pace on Kyoto, and she added that horn part that you loved, which was played by Nathaniel Walcott from the band Bright Eyes. What a good horn part it is. I just love it. It matches. It fits the song like a glove.
Yeah.
Also interesting to note, the song is practically built for a music video shot in Japan, right? You'd think. However, that wasn't able to happen. That was her initial plan, but the album came out during COVID, and pandemic travel restrictions made that impossible. So she ended up shooting the whole music video on a green screen, and they really played up how absurd it was, and honestly just nailed it.
Love that.
It's an experience of a music video. And then we move on from the instrumental, from the ballad, from the horn section, into the title track, Punisher. Also very slow, very understated in its music at the very beginning. It builds. It's got a good build to it, but yes, Punisher. She wrote it about one of her most prevalent musical inspirations, Elliott Smith. Smith. Do you know anything about Elliott Smith?
Definitely. I know. And you know.
Right.
So there's no need to talk about it unless you think the audience doesn't know.
Right, yeah, because you got it. What don't you know about Elliott Smith?
Yeah.
I do have one of his albums on my ranking list so far because artists like Phoebe Bridgers and Conor Oberst led me to him. But
now can I pull him out of the future?
Oh, look at that. He could stay in whatever cabinet you want.
Well, he's in the future one right now because you kept telling me to leave him there. Is he able to be, can he be moved?
No, he can't.
No.
He's still coming back.
Okay.
But Elliott Smith passed away, died tragically and unexpectedly in 2003. So Phoebe Bridgers obviously never got a chance to meet him, but in this song, she kind of imagines her way through what it would be like to meet him, what their interaction would be like. But she doesn't really paint herself as the hero, or, it's not a positive interaction. She kind of labels herself a punisher, which is kind of this stalkery kind of fan that comes on really strong and ends up like harassing their idol. Mostly, she talked about how it comes from a fear that she would be that person had this happened in real life, but obviously it never did. Hence the chorus. What if I told you I feel like I know you, but we never met? And it's an interesting thought because as an artist who's, been gaining popularity over the last decade, this kind of fan worship is something that she's had to deal with as the person that they're like going wild over, right?
Yeah.
And she talked about that experience. She said, even if they're sweet, the person that's being a punisher to you, she said, they're just talking to you and they don't realize that your eyes are glazed over and you're trying to escape. That's a punisher. And you realize that your reaction really means a lot to them. So you're trying to be there for them too. And I guess that I'm terrified that when I hang out with Patti Smith, that I'll become that for people. So it's this song that like personifies, like manifests her own experience with people who she deems punishers, but also like puts herself in their shoes and kind of presents this understanding of what it's like to be a punisher. And I think that's an important thing to contextualize for this record, right? That's how she sees herself, or at least how she's worried about coming across with all these stories and all these stories about her struggles in her real life. Like, is putting out this album making her a punisher to us as the audience, as the people who are there to witness what she's saying? Is she just throwing out content for us to disengage from, or are we actually plugged in on a deeper level? So I think Punisher is an excellent album title. It really sums up so much of like what this album hopes to not do, I guess.
It's okay.
It's okay? Punisher wasn't your favorite?
No.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. I think it works very well from a thematic and conceptual standpoint, but musically, I guess it's not my favorite either. The other interesting thing is the apparent ease with which she wrote the song. Usually she says she goes through like 4 or 5 rewrites on every song, but this one just kind of fell out, kind of happened, and was done very quickly.
That's cool.
It is cool. It's always nice to write a song fast. Up next is track number 5, Halloween.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween
that we're talking about, but we're not talking about This Is Halloween. There's a difference.
One of the greatest Christmas songs ever written?
I guess. I really considered, I was excited to put this album here at the beginning of the year, but I was torn also because this is a solid album that could go in Mixtober too.
Yeah.
But I opted for here instead, and it's not a Halloween album, but it really would fit right in there. Now, open up that filing cabinet again. He's back. Conor Oberst is on this song.
Oh!
He lends his vocals to the track in a few spots.
He's back in the present folder.
Yeah.
Will he go to the past or back into the future?
No, you got to put him back into the future file. He's coming up again.
Okay.
He's not done yet.
Yeah, because, once he makes it into the past, there's no guarantee he ever comes back.
Yes, there is. Maybe not on this episode, but he's coming back on this podcast. Don't you worry. Well, Phoebe says Halloween is about a dead relationship, but it doesn't get to have any victorious ending. It's like you're bored and sad and you don't want drama, and you're waking up every day just wanting to have crap be normal, but it's not that great. And so that's kind of what this whole song gets at. Baby, it's Halloween and we can be anything. It's a special night. Can't we at least pretend to not be mad at each other? Can't we at least pretend that things are okay for once?
It's good.
It's good. I know the mask and costume thing, it's a clever metaphor. It's like Billy Joel's The Stranger.
Yep. I'm also a big fan of the chorus.
Yeah, baby, it's Halloween and we could be anything. And there's this exasperation to it with the "Oh, come on, man." It feels like such a nothing lyric on its own, but in the context of the song, it really just puts us in the shoes of these characters.
Just so ethereal, like a ghost on Halloween.
Yeah, her vocals.
Yeah,
I don't think we've talked about them yet, but she just knocks it out of the park.
sure does.
Also, regarding that first verse about living by the hospital with sirens that wake you up all night, she wrote it with a friend who really does live right by a hospital. So the ambulance frustration was very real.
Oh.
Very actual. The song ends with this really interesting bridge, right? It's these two lovers, people presumably in a relationship, pleading with each other, that they'll just be whatever you want, trying to put a band-aid on things to save the relationship. It's like toxically sacrificial. Honestly, it's still a good song, but Halloween, I think for me, kind of represents a low point on the album.
Yeah. I think we're in a 2-song slump.
Slight slump. I think Halloween is better than a lot of...
It's a slump because it dips down compared to all the other ones.
Yeah.
That, by definition, makes it a slump.
Sure.
But it's not much of a dip.
Compared to the rest of the album. Not, totally insulated from every other song ever. I agree.
It's like a puddle in an alley. An alley puddle slump, not a...
What?
Grand Canyon slump.
It's a puddle in an alley.
Yeah.
Not the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
I don't follow that metaphor.
Like how deep it's dipping.
Oh, okay. Why is the puddle in an alley? Why not just like a puddle?
Just because puddles and alleys are typically pretty shallow.
Fair enough. Well, up next, we get out of that alley puddle.
No, we're still in it. It's a 2-song dip. And I think it's Halloween and Chinese Satellite.
What? I thought you were going to say it was Punisher and Halloween.
No, I actually think I liked Punisher more than Chinese Satellite.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, Chinese Satellite's one of my favorites.
Really?
It's top 5 probably for me.
Really?
That's half. I mean, roughly of the album, yeah.
Interesting. According to Spotify numbers, not counting the 1-minute intro, it's the second least popular.
I just counted again and it's number 6.
Bottom half. See?
Okay, well, that doesn't make it a slump track.
You would really put it at 6? You would put that many other tracks below it?
Yes.
Interesting. What are you putting below it?
Below it, I would put DVD Menu. I would put Garden Song.
No.
I'd put Punisher. I'd put, this is a hot take, I'd put Moon Song below it.
Whoa! We'll get there. That is a hot take.
Yeah, we'll get there.
The only one I agreed with you on there was maybe Garden Song. But even now, I think I like Garden Song better than Chinese Satellite.
Wow.
You're the one in the minority here. Don't be wowing like I'm making some controversial take.
Controversy.
Controversy, that's funny.
I like Chinese Satellite. It's mostly...
The people in their champion are in agreement here. You are the odd man out.
Maybe. I like Chinese Satellite. It's mostly for the melody. It's a very sing-alongable song. And I really love the metaphor that's going on here. It's solid. It's a song about feeling like you don't belong and wanting to escape and also like grappling with finding purpose in a world that you're not fitting into, which is where we get awesome lines like, I've been running around in circles pretending to be myself. And that's a really interesting line. What is yourself? What's the facade you're presenting? I don't know. I just like it. It kind of calls right back to Halloween and wearing a mask, right? Very performative. And instead of wishing on a star for what she wants, right? She really can't see them. The bigger picture just isn't there. So instead, she wishes on this Chinese satellite, something man-made and foreign and unnatural. And that's what she's got left to wish on. And it kind of implies, to me, that she's going to have to manufacture a greater purpose for herself since the stars aren't there to give it to her, right? Since she can't make herself believe in anything higher, greater, whatever. It's just a thing that has to be manufactured.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't know. I just didn't get into this one as much.
Well, I liked it a lot.
And I think it's maybe because it's one of the more up-tempo ones.
Well, it is. Slightly, which is funny to think of this as one of the faster songs on the album.
Yeah, I know. I didn't get into it as much. And vocally, she has a lot of jumping around note-wise, which makes it hard to sing along to off of one listen. It's hard to get it stuck in your head.
Okay, I guess. I also really like the string section on this. It's very cool.
I mean, there's no horn section, but sure.
There's no horn section, you're right. But strings are the horns of stringed instruments, so...
No.
I like some of these lyrics, right? I want to believe. Instead, I look at the sky and I feel nothing. You know, I hate to be alone. I want to be wrong. It's great. And in the second verse, it gets a lot more real, right? She talks about being revived after a coma and whether being kept alive longer even matters. If once you're gone forever. She says if she could believe, you know, if she thought that she did have any chance at an afterlife or whatever, she definitely would do whatever she had to do to to see them when she dies. And open up the filing cabinet again. Just a peek. Don't move the file. Just take a peek.
Peeking?
Yeah. The second verse of the song, the part about screaming at the evangelicals and stuff, that part was also co-written by Connor Oberst. And she liked it a lot. She says, one of my favorite things about collaborating, as a serial collaborator like she is, she said, it's pretty hard to start the idea, and then if you just work on something for long enough, it can almost feel like you have the same brain and you're thinking of the exact same experience, and one person can have a really articulate way of saying what you could only describe in 3 paragraphs. And that's what's happened on Chinese Satellite. He was able to put these ideas that she had and shared but couldn't express into a really concise way. Love it. But up next is Moon Song.
Well, all right, time to get into the controversy. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm going to get grilled for this one. So obviously Moon Song was the end of the slump for you.
That was me slapping you onto the grill.
Oh, I don't dislike Moon Song in the slightest, right? It's a melodic thing. It definitely doesn't stick with me as much thematically or melodically as Chinese Satellite does.
How dare you?
Well, maybe it's just a case of different things being more impressive on different people, right? Some things have a bigger impact on you. Some things have a bigger impact on me. Some things have no impact on either of us, but the audience loves them. You know what I mean? It could be anything. I will say Moon Song definitely ties more directly into the album again at the end. It gets a bit of a direct plug, but we'll get to that. It's a song about sacrifice and giving everything that you can to make another person happy. It's a theme that comes up again later as well, but it's just, it's about giving all you can give.
If I give you the moon.
It reminds me a little bit of It's a Wonderful Life, where Jimmy Stewart offers to lasso the moon for his girl.
Or Despicable Me, when he tries to steal the moon.
Or, I see that we went in very different directions for that. But yes, also that. Are there any, how many moon-stealing movies are there? Are those the only 2?
Doubtful.
Well, I can't think of any more.
Oh, man.
Phoebe describes this song as caring about someone so much that you feel stupid, right? She says it's the wanting to be stepped on feeling in a relationship. Like, you're taking advantage of my kindness. You're exploiting my generosity and what I'm giving to you, but at least you're letting me be there for you. At least you're responding to me, right? And for that, I'm willing to be trampled for you. And it makes its way into the song through these very vivid images. She says, you couldn't have stuck your tongue down the throat of somebody who loves you more, so I will wait for the next time you want me, like a dog with a bird at your door. What an image. And that's such a cool one, too, because I don't know about you. Everybody I know who has a dog story like this, the dog shows up with the bird, all happy to give this person the bird that they worked so hard to capture. And every dog owner, unless it's like a hunting dog, right? That doesn't count. But if you're like just a normal dog owner and your dog walks back in with the bird, you don't want the bird. You're trying to tell the dog to spit it out or drop it. Like you're disgusted. And it's a really good image to show how much this person that they're trying to give their all to occasionally maybe just spurns their kindness.
Aren't cats usually more known for that than dogs? I feel like cats are the ones that are known for like bringing mice and birds and snakes to their owners.
Maybe. It happens with dogs too, and I don't feel like a cat is going to come with the same like excited to see you feeling.
Yeah, well the cat's like just going to come dump it for you because it thinks you can't hunt for yourself. Whereas the dog, like when I think of dogs and bringing birds, I think of like hunting dogs. In which case the hunter absolutely wants the bird. It's like the whole point.
Well, but you're not hunting birds outside of your door. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. I guess. If the door's on your duck blind.
Or, just stick your gun out your window, shoot a passing bird, send the dog out to get it.
I'm pretty sure most places that are zoned for residences, that's not a good thing.
If you live out in the country and you have like a duck pond.
Yeah, a duck pond? It's not going to be a duck pond for long if you keep that up. I just love the wobbly little lead sound effects this song has. It's very cool. And there are just so many good lyrics. I especially Certified Poetry love. You pushed me in and now my feet can't touch the bottom of you. Solid. And actually, the bridge, if I could give you the moon, I would give you the moon, was one of her favorite lyrics that she had written. And it might still be. I don't know. Someone should follow up with Phoebe. But at one point, at least, it was one of her favorite lyrics. But that's Moon Song. It's close. It's close between Chinese Satellite and Moon Song, but I said what I said. And by it, I stand.
Fair enough. Guess it means you've got a bit of a savior complex.
I don't see how the things relate.
Or maybe I'm the one with the savior complex. I'm trying to save Moon Song.
Okay, yeah, maybe. Savior Complex is up next. Track 8, Savior complex is an interesting song. A savior complex, clinically, is when somebody feels this need to swoop in and be the hero in any situation. You know, they've always got the answer, they always solve the problem, and what turns this into a problem, really, is when the savior is being a savior just to inflate their ego, to avoid all their own issues and to feel good about themselves, and it can affect the people that they think that they're saving in negative ways as well. So that's what she's exploring in this song. The speaker's the one with the savior complex, and she's asking to see the skeletons in this person's closet in exchange for being vulnerable about her own problems. Lyrically, it's a short song, but it's dense.
It is. Question, is this better or worse than Chinese Satellite on your ranking?
Savior complex I put above.
Okay, just checking.
I told you all the ones that were below.
Listen, this already got moved to the past folder, so they're gone.
They're gone.
I told you, you opened the past drawer and it's actually just one big industrial shredder in there.
Sure.
Nothing gets stored.
I just really love the sequencing of these songs. We talk about Punisher and wanting to be the person your fans want you to be in front of them, even if they're taxing and draining you. Then we get to Halloween, which is all about trying to be what you need from me, wearing the mask, you know, performative. Then it's Chinese Satellite, about having to man-make your greater purpose, because that's not there. And then there's Moon Song, right? Very space-themed. So it kind of carries on the satellite thing, the higher purpose, something's out there. I'm going to continue to work and put in and give my all to this. And then Savior Complex. Phoebe says thematically it's like a sequel to Moon Song. It's like when you get what you asked for, and then you're dating someone who hates themselves.
Aw. I really like this song.
You really like this one? Me too.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. The chord structure is awesome. There's a lot of surprising major chords, you know, near the ends of the verses and in the chorus. This song lifts you up gently and sets you back down gently several times. And it's just got such a nice flow to it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, she wrote this song in her sleep. She says she rolled over in the middle of the night and hummed. She says there's a voice memo that exists, but she can't find it. She just woke up, had the melody, made a voice memo, did it in the studio. And that's where Savior Complex came from. And I love a lot of the little metaphors she puts in here about driving around the airport, being subject to a vampire when she's promised to give her blood. Like, it doesn't get any more sacrificial than that. And you know where you go when you need blood?
The ICU.
Sometimes the ICU. ICU's track 9. It's the album's third single. And for clarity's sake, the song title is the letters ICU, right? Like intensive care unit. That's a clever title.
Uh-huh. It's a really clever title.
It is. But when the pandemic hit, calling the song intensive care unit, that felt a little too real. So when it first came out, the song was changed to the way more boring words. ICU. Like ICSEEYOU.
I still like it. I still like it a lot.
I do too. Well, they changed it back once enough time had passed because it's obviously such a good title.
Yeah.
It's a breakup song. The underlying metaphor is kind of like a heartbreak that needs intensive care, right? But on the surface, it's about thinking you're over somebody.
And then when I see you.
And then you, quote, feel something when you see them.
James, I feel something when I see you.
What is it? Can I know?
Rage.
Rage? Well, it's good. No, it's good to... You were doing the that hippocampus thing where we just stand around and vent our bad feelings out. That's how we're healing now. Tell me, yes, you feel rage when you see me. That's how we're going to heal from it. The first step to addressing the problem is admitting the problem.
Yeah. It's such a good hook. I feel something when I see you.
I know. I like it a lot. And I love the instrumentation behind this one.
Yeah.
It feels some kind of way. I can't even put my finger on what exactly is so good about it, but I just love it.
When I see you.
Also interesting context. Specifically, this song is very much real life inspired. It's about Phoebe's breakup with her drummer, Marshall Vore, so...
Oh, I was about to say, don't you dare.
I swear I didn't know the Bo Burnham thing. But she broke up with her drummer. And that's what makes what she does in the third verse really cool. She says, I used to light you up. Now I can't even get you to play the drums. And when she says it, the drums cut out. It's such a great moment in the song and honestly on the whole album. Because the whole song feels like it's building to this climatic moment, right? And this moment where the drums stop, in an ironic way, kind of is that. It's a climax, even though it really sweeps the leg out from under the song. It's kind of like an inverted climax. The song hits its highest point at its lowest point. I don't know how to describe it. That's like the focal point of the song, even though it cuts itself way back. It's solid. And certified poetry alert, if you're a work of art, I'm standing too close. I can see the brush strokes. Like I know you so well, I'm too familiar with your imperfections. It's again another literal instance of not being able to see the big picture, just like Chinese Satellite. This whole album feels so thematically cohesive. Ooh, I just really like that. Anyway,
when I see you.
We talked a little bit about Graceland back in our 80s of episodes. We did an Elvis Presley episode, talked about Graceland. Well, today we're going to talk about Graceland 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
No, that's not number 2. T-O-O. Graceland T-O-O.
Gotcha.
That's track 10.
T-E-N.
Right. Good job. So you're an Elvis fan.
Sure am.
You know about Graceland.
Sure do.
Do you know about Graceland 2?
What don't I know about Graceland 2?
Great. So you know all about Graceland 2. What the audience, though, they might not know, so I'll tell them. 40 miles south of Memphis, Tennessee, and therefore south of the real Graceland, in a little town called Holly Springs, Mississippi, an Elvis fanatic put together like a shrine tribute to Elvis that looked like a mini version of Graceland, like built a Graceland, and he stuffed this little house with memorabilia and souvenirs and Elvis stuff, like more than 1,000 items. So much so that the fire department classified it as a fire hazard, and he called this little place Graceland 2, T-O-O. The dude was obsessed with Elvis, and apparently if you brought him like a 6-pack of Coke or something, he would let you come in and give you the tour of all his little stuff.
Nice.
Right? I know.
Listen, if somebody brought me a 6-pack of Coke, I might give them a tour too.
Yeah, please come on in, look around. That's what I've got. You don't have 1,000.
This is my stuff. Behold my stuff.
Connor's apartment 1.
No, 2.
2. Oh, okay.
But just T-O.
Oh, like you've come to Connor's apartment. I like it. Well, the dude passed away in 2014, and in 2015, the shrine/museum was closed, and all the stuff was auctioned off. So now it's abandoned down in the middle of Mississippi. But that's what Graceland 2 is. Very interesting place. But as far as the song goes, Phoebe says it's about caring for somebody who hates themselves, and how that can be really hard. There's also an homage in there to friends in rehab or who are going through a tough time. So the song starts with a literal escape from a rehab or a psych ward, and someone who's been in that situation and, in theory, rehabilitated, starts to experience life in a new way, going on this journey, almost a little pilgrimage to find yourself.
Right.
What did you think of the vocal harmonies in this song?
I liked it.
Liked it? Great. Well, those vocals...
Yeah, I think those two voices go well together.
They do. Well, they were contributed by... Open the filing cabinet back up. Not Connor Oberst, though. They were contributed by her Boy Genius bandmates, Lucy Dacus and Julian Baker.
Ah.
So in a way, this is kind of like a sneaky Boy Genius track.
I see. Mm-hmm. And I think part of the reason it works is sometimes when they'll do harmonies like this, it doesn't sound as good as this one, and I think it's because it doesn't have enough supporting, and I think the instrumentals really support the vocal harmonies in a good way.
Mm-hmm. This song kind of sticks out from the rest of this album. It's a little less spacey. It's a lot more grounded. It's a lot more, physical instruments, a lot less synthy production. There's a banjo in there. There's some guitars and a fiddle. It's very country. And honestly, it really evokes her normal folksy style from her first album. It's a lot more, I don't want to say of a return to form, but it feels like it would be right at home on Stranger in the Alps in a lot of ways.
Let's see.
One thing I love about Graceland 2, aside from everything, is that in the chorus she says, "I'll do anything you want me to. I'll do anything for you," which really calls back indirectly to Moon Song, right? If I could give you the moon, I'd give you the moon. And it calls back very directly to that last bridge of Halloween, "I'll be whatever you want." And in turn, all of that ties right back into Savior Complex, about how you have to do whatever you can to help this person.
Yeah.
It's so complex. It's so complicated. It's such a web of themes and emotions, and everything congeals and comes together. And the final place that it does all come together is track 11, "I Know the End."
We finally get our realization that, DVD menu ties into "I Know the End" if you're paying attention.
That's right. It's here. The end is here. I found a lot of details about this song. There's so much happening here.
Yeah.
First of all, Phoebe says This is a bunch of things I had on my to-do list. I wanted to scream. I wanted to have a metal song. I wanted to write about driving up the coast to Northern California. She said it's like a super specific feeling. This is, she called it a stone thought. She said it feels like purgatory to me. Purgatory, like you mentioned in your adjectives to describe the album.
Sure did.
She said doing that drive is like purgatory up the coast of California. She said, I've done it at every stage of my life, so I get thrown into this time that doesn't exist when I'm doing it. I can't differentiate any of the times in my memory. Her filing cabinet is all out of whack. She says, I guess I always pictured that during the apocalypse, I would escape to an endless drive up north. She says, I love tricking people with a vibe and then completely shifting. And boy, I know the end is a vibe-shifting song.
We're coming out the other side of purgatory.
Yeah, and not in the good way either.
No, making it into the next, whatever the next worst thing after purgatory is.
Well, I think hell is generally what the answer to that is, right?
I didn't know that there was an in-between step.
Well, purgatory is the in-between step.
Sometimes there's an in-between to the in-between.
Oh, okay. The exact middle.
I mean, Dante had like a million rings,
We've been over this. We just went over this. It's 7.
That was in the past.
Shredded.
And we got more horns.
We do get a few more horns.
Gotta love some horns.
Mm-hmm. It's just such a fitting song to end the album, right? It's this apocalyptic song about the end of things, but it's not really an end of the world apocalypse. It kind of feels to me like...
It's the end of her world.
Yes, it's like a personal apocalypse and an end to everything in her life.
Apocalypse now, or forever, or whatever that was. I don't even remember anymore. It's in the past.
Oh my gosh. Whenever? Apocalypse whenever?
Whenever. That's what it was.
Not Apocalypse Now, that's the movie.
That is a movie.
We did talk about Bad Sons and Apocalypse Whenever. But this is a personal apocalypse, Her life is changing, and in a certain sense, it's a little sad to witness the end of all the things that you've known. But on the other hand, it's also really exciting to leave all that behind in anticipation of all the unknown stuff that's coming up next. It's just so good. And like Kyoto, the first part of the song is about hating being on tour, right? Just the constant change, just being around and not being home and having to go. It's hard. It's a tough thing to cope with. And it's a great capstone for all the themes so far. I'm sure you liked this little part, right? Early choruses say, you had to go, like a wave that crashed and melted on a shore. But later that changes to, I gotta go, because I'm not gonna go down with my hometown in a tornado.
Yeah.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
When you put a little sneaky mix up into your chorus, I didn't mention it on the earlier tracks, but there was a couple earlier ones that did the same thing.
Yeah, there were a few. We're entering a bit of a Wizard of Oz era.
Yeah?
Like with this song, 3 clicks and I'm home. She talks about the ruby slippers and stuff.
I feel like the Wizard of Oz has come up a couple times.
It's about to come up again.
Oh boy.
Put it in the filing cabinet for the future. That's all I'll say. But there's that, right? Leaving and having to go like a wave on the shore. At another point, she says, we watch the sunset. I'm always pushing you away from me, but you come back with gravity. And when I call you, you come home with a bird in your teeth. So it sees the return of that eager dog metaphor, which, really just pulls the last little straggling pieces of this record into place. It calls to mind ICU and Punisher and obviously Moonsong. I just like it so much.
Oh.
In the end of the song, she talks about looking for a creation myth, ending up with a pair of cracked lips, which weaves Chinese satellites, search for faith and purpose into this song. And the album ends at its absolute apex, like the highest point of the album, the most intensity, the biggest, the everything it. She says, either way, we're not alone. I'll find a new place to be from. A haunted house with a picket fence to float around and ghost my friends. No, I'm not afraid to disappear. The billboard says the end is near. I turn around. There was nothing there. Yeah, I guess the end is here. What a moment. It blows my mind. It gives me chills every time I get to that part of the album.
It ends at its highest point of just like a bunch of crazy instrumentals.
Yeah, so we finish that last bit of verse, and then everybody starts screaming, right? Everybody gets to yell as loud as they can, and the end is here, the end is here. It's loud, it's frantic, it's chaotic. DVD menus melody comes back. It's just so cool. It's so fun. And also, it's a little ironic. She said she really liked the thought of making the end is here be the last thing on the album. It's one of the, you complained about the Beatles, how the end wasn't really the end. Well, here it is. You get it here.
Yeah.
Also interesting, she says that she started writing I Know the End, or at least a very early version of it, before everything else on the album. And then once the rest of the pieces of the record had fallen into place, when she had all these other songs in here, she reworked the whole thing, which I think is one reason she was able to make it touch every bit of thematic goo that was still out there and like pull it all together. She says, I Know the End is, quote, the first and last song that I wrote for Punisher. So in that sense, it's extra cool to make DVD Menu have that same melody, bookend the record. Because if this is the first and last song, I mean, it's the case for us listening to it too. I just really like it. Anyway, we've talked about it enough. Now it's time for Final Spin. As I'm sure you've all gathered, I could ramble.
Yes.
I could ramble more.
You're a rambling man.
Yeah. Do you ever realize that in songs that are about ramblin' men, they never include the G on the word rambling?
Yeah, it's always rambling.
It's always rambling. I don't know why. Everyone does it. So, to recap, for a Final Spin, I've talked a lot, melodies and music and production and all that stuff. It's genuinely so captivating. One of the reasons that I picked this album, again, to kick off the Year of Healing, is because so many of its themes are about helping others and helping yourself and getting better and providing. You know, Punisher, as a record, starts a very slow, heavy uplift out of the dark clouds that kind of hang all the way over Stranger in the Alps. It's got these songs, you know, Graceland 2, Garden Song, I See You, Moon Song. They all have their very own unique ways of portraying what growth and healing looks like in all sorts of different contexts. And I think that's really fascinating. Musically, no notes, 96. Lyrically, 93. Instruments and production, 95. And the vibe also gets a 95.
Nice.
That makes the overall score of this album an incredibly good 95.8 and puts it not in my top 10, however, in my top dozen at number 12.
Top Baker's dozen, too.
It, is necessarily within the top Baker's dozen as well.
Arguably more impressive.
It's not. It's objectively less impressive.
Who's to say? That's good, though. That's nice.
It's nice. It's real good. I love it. I can't talk more. Yes. Anyway, you talk a little bit. Tell me what you thought.
I have thoughts. They are thoughts. They're very thoughtful.
Oh, yes. Please, go on.
Melancholic self-reflection on a journey into purgatory.
Yes. Is that like a unit that you're trying to give? Like what?
No. Just thought I'd bring that back around to remind the audience on my initial, judging an album by its cover opinions.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I think this album lives up to your cover judgment.
And I think it holds up.
Yeah, it does.
I think I need to really spend my portion of Final Spin here offering an official Spin It apology and retraction.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. We've entered the Year of Healing, and I just don't think it'd be right for me to start us off with lies and deception.
That's true. That's also correct. Yes.
Outside of the lies and deception that we schedule into the episode.
We have a built-in period to vent.
Yeah. Last week or 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
My gosh.
Who really knows?
I know what you're about to say.
I claimed I only took 6.
Yeah, you did.
On the Beatles.
Yeah, you did.
I've since gone back and checked the record books, played the tapes, reviewed the footage, and the call's been overturned.
I knew. I marked it down right.
I did indeed take 7.
I knew it.
I did a last-second, spur-of-the-moment additional song that I didn't have written in my notes.
Wow.
And so when I checked my notes, it said 6, but in fact, it was 7.
Wow.
And so I think I only get my normal top 3, no honorable mention this week.
Amazing. Very honorable. Thank you.
Very honorable.
Very honorable. Okay. It makes me sad because there's so many good songs on this album.
You could take my honesty and reward it by waving.
Well, but now you've asked for that.
I'm just giving you options if you were sad. I mean, I was just trying to make you not sad.
Okay.
I wasn't asking for it out of selfishness.
No, you're right. I just feel kind of gaslit now. Like I definitely marked it down right in the moment.
There was some unintentional gaslighting on my end.
Yeah. Wasn't arson.
Yeah, exactly. It was it's like accidental burning your house down.
That's just a fire.
But like you caused it.
Like negligence?
Sure, negligence. We'll go with that.
Negligent arson.
No arson. Just negligent house burning.
Sure. Anyway,
top 3 in album order.
Ooh.
Kyoto.
Nice.
Savior Complex.
Big skip.
and I Know the End.
Understandable. Very surprising top 3 from you.
There's a honorable mention hiding in there.
Say it.
Moon Song. It's
yep.
Honorable mention.
I'm really surprised as an Elvis fan and a ballad guy. The biggest, most notable omission for me is Graceland 2.
I think when you start putting everything in order, it unfortunately falls. I think it's a top half, but not a top 3.
Okay. I'm so excited to know your score for this album. I have been dying to put Phoebe Bridgers on the podcast, I swear, for 105 episodes. Like, it's here. It's here. And now I get to know what you think.
What made you wait so long?
The timing wasn't right. It's a difficult balance because I don't want to burn through all the stuff I'm really excited about early.
Yeah, because then you have nothing to be excited about.
Yeah, I'm doing my garden song. You know, I'm planting things and they grow at different speeds. Some stuff that I want to bring you, I absolutely have to prime you for. I'm like, we're not ready yet.
Fair enough. I'm giving this one. What do you think I'm giving it?
Well, I would not be unhealed, so to speak, if you didn't, but I would love if we started the year of healing off with a 9.
Mm-hmm. I would love that too.
Well, there is only one person that could make it happen.
And that one person is you.
It's me?
You picked the episodes.
Well, that's true.
You had to have picked a 9.
I guess that's a fair point. How'd I do?
I'm sorry. I'm giving this one a 2. No, kidding. But no, I am a little sorry because this one's only getting an 8.
Oh, only getting an 8. Wow.
And I think you'll understand once you take a good look at my 8s.
Okay.
I'm putting it right below Harry's House, which also puts it below Abbey Road by the Beatles.
It does.
And Storms of Life by Randy Travis and some other pretty powerful albums that are sitting in my 8s.
It does. It does. Where's it lacking? What does this album have to change to make up that last point?
I'll be honest, I think it could just be my mood.
Oh, okay.
I think this one could edge its way up into a 9 or dip itself even down farther into my 8s, depending on my mood when listening to it.
Okay, variable.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a thinker album.
Big time.
It's one that, like, to truly appreciate, you have to be able to be in a state of mind to actively listen to it.
You're right.
Whereas some ballad albums are ones that, I just put on and let my emotions take over and kind of zone out and just get these impactful moments and without having to put too much thought in it.
It's a worker.
I just don't think I want to work right now, so it's getting an 8.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, I'm sitting here and I feel like at the time of listening, I was feeling a low 9. But, like, sitting here now, like, having to actually give it that score, I just can't do it.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think it's a thinker. It's very involved in its themes and its lyrics and its little metaphors that are, everywhere. There are more metaphors here than there are chestnuts on the ground at the Chestnut Festival, okay? So...
Is that just because there's 0 chestnuts on the ground at the Chestnut Festival?
No, I'm saying if the game existed, there would be a lot of chestnuts on the ground,
I see.
You couldn't even, you'd be blindfolded and you'd still be stepping on chestnuts. But you have to be paying attention to know when you step on a chestnut. So if you're just walking around with the blindfold on, what a weird, this is a mess. It's an album you have to pay attention to, definitely. But your explanation makes a lot of sense.
This one's getting 8 filing cabinet paper shredders of the past out of 10.
What a wordy unit.
It's been a minute since I've had a wordy unit.
Filing cabinet paper shredders of the past. I guess so.
I haven't had a good wordy unit in a while. And as for my playlist pick, I'll just get it out of the way and let you struggle to decide what you want to pick.
Struggle hard, I know.
I'm going to go with Kyoto.
Oh, wow, that makes my struggle even harder.
Yeah, that was my goal. Have fun.
Great. Would it be awful of me to take Chinese Satellite?
You're allowed to do what you want, but I feel like we both agreed that there were better songs.
We did, I just think it's funny.
Do what you want, it's your pick. Just remember, Year of Healing and Turnabout's Fair Play.
You know what it needs to be? I think it needs to be I Know the End.
Okay.
That song goes from 0 to absolute 100. It is every theme on this album incarnate. It's so great. And it provides an opportunity on the playlist for us to just scream.
Yeah.
I think that has to be my pick. Kyoto and I Know the End. And I do, in fact, know the end. And we are at it. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, thanks. Be sure to drop a rating, a comment, a follow, wherever you listen to podcasts, and, tell a friend who has trouble with their mental filing cabinets sometimes about this episode. But tell them twice.
Yeah, and keep telling them, because they keep ending up in the past. You gotta make sure they keep it in the future.
That's right. In the present sometimes, too. Just put it back in their filing cabinet. You know what to do. If you're looking for us on the web, you can find us anywhere you look at Twitter, @SpinItPod. You can find us anywhere you look at Instagram, @SpinItPodOfficial. And you can find us anywhere you go to our website, at www.spinitpod.com.
Hey, it's me, the Mixtaper. Coming back in.
Hello.
Popping into Final Spin.
Welcome back.
Just here to remind everyone, episode 1 of my blog is out now.
Oh my goodness. That's right. I forgot you're releasing It's Me for the start of year 3.
Yeah. Episode 1 came out this past Monday.
Yeah, it's your little mini blog where you'll answer questions and...
I get asked a lot of questions, who's the mixtaper behind the mask, and do you really work at Starbucks? Are you really the employee of the month at the airport Starbucks? And the answer is no.
The answer is no. Oh, sad.
But, I get a lot of questions, and so I thought I'd start answering them in a little, couple-minute long weekly mini-blog every Monday.
That's right.
You can find them on my Twitter, @the_mixtaper, or on our website that James already said.
And I'll say it again, spinitpod.com. 9 easy letters.
Every Monday, new episode. And if you have a question for me, the Mixtaper, that you want me to answer, you can ask me it on my Twitter, or really just anywhere on any of the socials, the podcast one, any of them. Just ask me your questions, and, I may or may not answer them. And the answer I give may or may not be the truth.
Oh, great. That makes the tell-all mini-blog really pointless, but we won't worry about that. Put Connor back on. We gotta wrap.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. All right, Frank, I'm coming. All right, I'm back.
Well, there's literally only one thing left to say, and that's...
I have feelings when I see you.
And also...
Keep spinning! I do feel a little healed.
Yeah, me too. I feel good.
1% healed.
1% healed?
Yeah. I feel like each episode, I guess I'd have to be whatever...
I was going to say you'll only be 52% healed by the end of the year.
Yeah, that feels about right.
That's not very good.
I'm looking at the year being 100%.
Okay, so this is closer to 2%.
Yeah.
Well, that's a little healed. That's progress.
More accurately, 1.9230769% healed.
It's a step in the right direction.
All right, time to shred all this. See ya.
Oh no. Don't shred the healing.